Well, hey y'all are this afternoon. This is your buddy George Jones over at the Bergen Gun Range with my next installment on, hey, let's grade out an old used gun and hey, take a look at it. The old used gun we got today is another universal carbine. Now, why do I keep doing these? Well, because there's so many variations on the universal carbine that, they all are worth mentioning. So, which one have we got here? Well, we've got the 1970s production version of the Universal. Now, the Universal company was a company based in Hialeah, Florida, that manufactured variations on the 30 caliber carbine over the years, and this one says on it, Universal, Hialeah, Florida. Caliber 30 M1 patent number, and there's several patent numbers, and on the stub information it has the serial number back here. Now, over the years, the Universal carbine was very popular. They sold a lot of them, they manufactured a lot of them. They started in 1964 and they were making carbines from GI parts. And they produced carbines from GI parts for several years. Well, as the parts changed, it's windy today. I don't know if I'm going to get a good audio or not, but we're going to try it. As the parts changed and the availability of GI parts waned or increased in different ways, the configuration of the gun changed. Now, this is a 1970s production one. It has the stamped metal ventilated top cover, a standard GI front band, GI style front band. It's not GI at all, but it's made like a GI front band. The front sight is not GI at all and is held on with a hex head screw, as opposed to the front sight wing protected aperture and so forth being held in place by a cross pin and a woodruff key, which is the way a GI one would be made. Sling is nice, but repop. The oiler appears to be GI. I'm sure those were added later. The butt plate appears to be a GI style butt plate or a commercially manufactured copy of one. The op rod assembly in this one, of course YouTube won't let me take a gun apart to show you how it works internally, but this gun has the double springs inside of it, and the op rod assembly is a pressed metal arrangement that's been hopefully heat treated. Okay. Over here the stock is cut out to allow you to have this plastic piece in there, which it's held in there by 4 plugs, okay, and if Universal produced a scope mount which went in here, and you took this plug out, applied the scope mount to the receiver, and then put it back in there, and there was space for the scope mount, and this plug fills in that space when the scope mount's not in use. The rear sight is of a GI style, but it's commercially manufactured. You can see very clearly that it's not a US GI manufactured, so forth. The bolt that's in this particular gun is of the cotton picking thing, is of the M2 variety, the round bolt, like you'd find in an M2 selective fire carbine, which was probably common, The bolt hold open device is here, as opposed to being up here where it would be on a GI one. Okay, the stock, I don't think it's GI, I think it's aftermarket, something that they had fabricated, but it looks very much like well, yeah, it's high wood, all right, because you can't even see the op rod here. And it's not a fat belly stock like an M2 stock is. An M2 stock is got a lot of wood down here to make it stronger for when you're firing the carbine full auto. Overall, it's a standard universal mid-production. They manufactured versions of the 30 caliber carbine from about 1964 to about 1978. And then they kind of played out, you know. I think FIE wound up owning them for a while, and they may have even been FIE. The trigger group in this style is a commercially manufactured cast aluminum trigger group. The later ones actually had a plastic trigger group in them. The trigger group housing was actually injected molded in plastic. This one is aluminum and is a long way from being GI, even though it will accept a GI magazine. As always, standard GI magazines are available and they fit the universal. This one is a 15. This one is something we're going to look at today as well. This is a M2 magazine, or a carbine magazine which is manufactured in the M2 configuration. Now, an M2 magazine for a full automatic carbine has this little extra stud right here that grabs the magazine catch and gives it a little bit of support. And in fact, this one has an M2 magazine catch in it. There's that little tip right there that grabs that little stud is M2 configuration. Okay, a standard carbine from World War II didn't have that on there. Overall, that's about the size of it. Let's look at it. Let's shoot it. And this magazine is manufactured in Korea. I purchased some of these from Centerfire. They have a double horseshoe stamp on the back of them. I believe they're manufactured in Korea. And they appear to be painted inside and out. I don't know how that's going to affect feeding, having paint on the inside, but we're fixing to find out. So let's get up and see how the old rifle shoots. Oh, Lordy, get up on this side over here. Let's see how it shoots. Let's go down here and shoot it a little bit. I'm going to shoot it at 25 yards at the steel police silhouette chest center size target. Went in battery good. All right, let's take a look at it. Ooh, I gotta have some safety glasses. Carbines are notorious for spitting holes out all over the place. Let's give it a try and see how it shoots. Ready? Here we go. Whoop, got a stovepipe. Get that one out. And battery. All right, let's try some small targets. The rabbit. Yeah. So, is it a museum quality World War II carbine? No, baby, it ain't. Does it shoot 30 caliber carbine ammunition? Sure does. Does it shoot 30 caliber carbine ammunition? Sure does. Does it shoot 30 caliber carbine ammunition? Sure does. Does it shoot 30 caliber carbine ammunition? Sure does. Does it shoot 30 caliber carbine ammunition? Sure does. Does it shoot 30 caliber carbine ammunition? Sure does. Does it shoot 30 caliber carbine ammunition? Sure does. Does it shoot 30 caliber carbine ammunition? Sure does. Does it shoot 30 caliber carbine ammunition? Sure does. Does it shoot 30 caliber carbine ammunition? Sure does. Does it shoot 30 caliber carbine ammunition? Sure does. Does it shoot 30 caliber carbine ammunition? Sure does. Does it shoot 30 caliber carbine ammunition? Sure does. Does it shoot 30 caliber carbine ammunition? Sure does. Does it shoot 30 caliber carbine ammunition? Sure does. Does it shoot 30 Does it shoot it well? You know, probably within the limits of the carbine. I haven't tried this gun at 100 yards. I just been shooting it down here because it's basically a pistol caliber carbine. The Korean M2 mag, at least in this gun, seems to work pretty good. I'm not going to say the price of this thing. YouTube doesn't like you to say prices anymore, so I'm not going to say the price of it, but when I got it, it was reasonable. Overall, you see these guys around, they're cheaper than a good GI carbine, but you know, they're like a GI carbine, they're getting expensive. I'm not supposed to say the price of the gun anymore either. Now, overall, graded out, it's just exactly like it's supposed to be for the series of gun that it is. The stock is a little beat up, but not bad. The finish on everything is pretty good. The bolt is starting to show a little wear in its wear points. The receiver is starting to show a little wear in its wear points. The bore in this gun is excellent. You know, it's probably worth the money. I'm not supposed to say the price of guns anymore, but you generally see these guys for that, something like that. Are they worth it? Yeah, I'd say they are. Good camp gun, good tractor gun, good woods loafing gun, not real powerful. Good medicine on groundhogs at 100 yards, good medicine on coyotes at 100 yards. 10-round magazine, legal hunting gun in the state of Kentucky with saw point ammunition. I'm not 100% sure that I would take on a white-tailed deer with a 30 caliber carbine regardless of the load. It's just like a 5.56. I don't think I'd take on a white-tailed deer with an AR. But they are a good serviceable gun. Well, that's about the size of it. You remember previous videos if you watched them, you know, the last carbine video I did was a universal, and it was grossly different in design and manufacture from this one. And there's other ones back up in the 70s. They also manufactured a Enforcer pistol style universal one, as well as Ivor Johnson. Well, all right then, that's about the size of that. Like, take, share, buy, commentate, and subscribe. Leave me no dollar in the paper on buck if you want to. And don't forget, go over on Rumble. Or if you're watching this on Rumble, go over on YouTube. You know, same channel name. Leave me no dollar in the Patreon bucket if you want to. I'm over on Rumble. And if you're watching this on Rumble, I'm over on YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll have an disassembly video in about a week on this gun on Rumble. That's where I'm going for that stuff now. Well, all right then. God bless America. God bless every one of my viewers and all the ships at sea. Be kind to everyone you meet, but have a plan. We'll see y'all.